everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report. I am excited to welcome David the Bullet Smith from America's Got Talent Extreme to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Hillary. Thank you for having me on.
It is a pleasure. And David, everybody was holding their breath as you launched 90 feet from a cannon through a ring of fire. But before that happened, your dad had to come over and you had to make some adjustments because of the wind. So tell us what was going on right before the countdown.
Well, right before the countdown, there's a lot involved. I've got, let me tell you about my team. We got a little bit of an explanation here I can give. I have Eric Bautista, who's like my net guy and my, everything that matters. He's maintaining the outside of the cannon and watching that wind. And then Alexis was inside of the cannon. And my dad being there, he's such a comfort, but it's two professionals looking at things. And he just came over in the last minute to make sure that we had made the adjustments for the wind. He wanted to give me, I think, one more time, like I as a dad, I should go and make sure my son's got this covered. And Alexis was inside of the cannon. The calculations for the wind were already kind of precisely accounted for because we ended up dead center of that thing, right in everything just worked out so perfect. But yeah, Alexis was inside the cannon operating it, and we had adjusted the elevation. My dad wanted to make sure that I was shooting a little bit higher. He didn't want me to get caught up on the bottom of that fire. So, that last couple of minutes of showtime, and it just brings you into just the most on point that you can be. And the whole team has to be super on point and make no mistakes at that point forward. And I was really proud of everybody, and it was neat to see the concern in my dad. It was really touching. It was great.
Well, Nikki said your showmanship was spectacular, and Simon said it was everything they were hoping for on this new show. So let's take a look.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
David, you grew up doing this and followed in your father's footsteps. Now your daughter's part of your team. I'd love to hear more about your family history of being human cannonballs.
Well, it's a really neat story, honestly. Very different upbringing. So when I was a kid, I grew up basically in the circus business for about 9 months of the year. And we toured in basically a homemade RV pulling a human cannon behind it. And that was my upbringing, growing up watching my dad get shot out of cannons from the early parts of his career to being a multiple time world record icon in the business. That's my father is the name to live up to for me, and so somewhere, about 25 years ago, I took over and started joining it. My sisters were cannonballs before me. Cannonball for something like 25 years. My sister Jennifer was a cannonball for something like 25 years. My cousin Robin, Chachi, my cousin, her husband, and Stephanie, she was an insane cannonball. She's my baby sister, and she was, as far as the cannonball family is concerned, and she did some insane cannon shots, so I grew up around it, and combination of, my father's and mother were just tremendous athletes. So I got some good genes to handle the abuse with, and I learned how to take care of my body, pretty well and keep strong and be able to handle the forces. And then my dad's got a very mathematical mind, able to create the cannons, calculate the cannons, and have the thing is to figure it out and then have the faith to get in it and try it. You know, that's the moment of truth. And it's just that fact alone, let alone having a perfectly operating staff like I have that can execute it. Because every time there's a tremendous amount of risk, and I do it thousands and thousands of times. So there's no room for error on any of them.
That being said, how did you and your family celebrate after you got a big fat yes, no surprise there, from all three of the judges?
After the adrenaline, it's just surreal. You know, I mean, as that adrenaline comes down, first off, you just feel the relief coming, and everybody's just got this sense of pride and awe and wonderment. And it was really special for me. We kind of celebrate. I mean, we had a couple of drinks, but not much. We took our equipment down, kind of got to a position where we could relax while we're still running on the adrenaline. And then, you know, this is now midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're said, you know what, let's feed our bellies and sit back and laugh at what we just accomplished. And that's, you know, the comic relief of how we got through it, and what just the vast amount of work that goes into preparing and doing a show like that. You know, that's the thing. The cannon shot's only a few seconds long, you know, months of hard work to get there.
Thank you for explaining that. But right after you completed that amazing feat, you looked so triumphant after landing.
Oh, the actual right there. Oh yeah, that I was amazed. I was amazed. There was so much fire going through that ring, and there's nothing I could do other than count on the fact that I was going through it, and I made it through it. I couldn't adjust. It was all predetermined when the cannon fired. So the celebration for me, I was up there. I had this massive stress, the whole performance thing. When I hit that net, the relief is just out of this world. The celebration comes like from so deep inside of you that you just like, it roars out. And it was just, I mean, we all knew what we just did. Look, it brings tears to my eyes. My team, my dad, everybody, we knew what a family history had turned into at that moment. And it was just spectacular, you know.
You said you're gonna take everything to another level for the super fans. So what else can we look forward to seeing from you, David?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've reached up there to the height. I want to keep the height. I want to go a little bit higher. I want to go bigger. I think if I add about 35 foot to the length of that cannon shot, I think I can shoot over the entire main stage, and that's the goal. So I think I want to go for that, probably kiss that height record one more time and add a lot of lengths to the cannon shot and start pushing it even more. That's what we got to do. You know, I saw this show and I am in awe at the level of the competition that I'm involved with. And it is going to be a spectacular season to watch this AGT Extreme. It's just going to be awesome. So, and I don't know where I'm going to fall in the ranks, but I'm sure going to bring it. And we're going to do a big, big cannon shot, I think, over the top of the entire main stage.
Well, that is something I cannot wait to see, David. And that's a great way to wrap up our happy hour. So I want to lift a glass to you and
Absolutely.
make a toast to your continued success on America's Got Talent Extreme.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Toast. Here's to it.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's tasty.